I call that they don't like to see you winning. They wanna see you in a penitentiary. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you ignorant. My mama told me, boy, make a decision.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Clutch Talk podcast / YouTube / We Do It All. As always, I am your host, John. Very happy to be here. My boy Jay Hill over here in the six. What's going on?
What's good? Just another day, another dollar, ready to get into it, talk about these Bulls.
Oh, yeah, man. Let's get into the Windy City. Hey, Junior, what's going on, man?
Yo, man, excited to be here, talk about the Bulls. Historic franchise, added a historic player in Alex Caruso, so I'm excited to get into it.
Man, definitely am excited to get into this to this Windy City talk, man, about the Bulls. So we definitely had to bring in a very exciting guest on for this great episode, man. We brought on Garrett. Garrett, we're very happy to have you on the show, man. You want to talk a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself to the fans?
Yeah, I mean, just a regular basketball YouTuber trying to talk about some NBA. I'm a Bulls fan, so this should be an interesting episode for me because it's been the first time in ages since we've been exciting. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just ready to talk about the Bulls, I guess.
Oh man, well, we're very happy to have you on, Garrett, and thank you very much, man, again for blessing us with your time. And let's get it. And if you guys are if you guys are all good with that, you guys are ready to get into this Bulls talk?
Yes, sir.
Get it.
Oh.
Let's do it. All right, Garrett. So the first question that we start off these all these offseason interviews with is the classic question. As a Bulls fan, are you content with the way the season went down?
With the off season, you mean, or with like the end of last?
The end of last season, how the season just ended.
I mean, I was not content whatsoever. I mean, once they added the play-in to like the playoffs, I was like, oh, we're for sure making it, because I thought for the past several years, if we just stayed healthy, we were a playoff team. And last year we were kind of healthy for the most part, but then like I kind of questioned a little bit what Billy Donovan was doing, shifting rotations throughout like the whole season. Like he had Garrett Temple starting for big stretches, Satoransky starting, like Markkanen and Kobe White off the bench. And then I saw both those guys get a lot of slander from our own fans. And I don't kind of agree with that. I think that they're both really good players. They just need the right like role. They need the right system possibly. And that's kind of like what you're seeing with Markkanen right now. So I was pretty disappointed the fact that we couldn't even get like a top 10 seed in the conference. Now, of course, we did make a big midseason trade. Sometimes it takes time to adjust. And then also Levine like was in COVID protocols for about 2-3 weeks near the end of the season. So I guess it makes sense with that, but it just kind of sucks, especially since we were in the play-in like the whole time. And then Washington just climbed us like right at the end. But yeah, I mean, it was a bit disappointing, but hopefully next season might be a little bit better.
Yeah, we're still gonna get into the to some of that next season, man, because you got some big changes going on over there in Chicago. But Garrett, man, over here at Clutch Talk, we don't like to waste no time, man. We like to get straight to it. So, Garrett, let me ask you the question that everybody wants to know, the elephant in the room. What's the deal with Lauri Markkanen? What's going on? What do you want to see happen with Lauri Markkanen? Because it's a lot of drama over there.
You know, over the past several years, I've always been high on Markkanen. I thought that he had potential to be like a possibly 20-10 guy. And at the start of the season, people don't realize that he was averaging, I think, like just shy of 19 points and like 9 rebounds. And we weren't doing bad. Like we started the year, 16-18. I think we were in like the 6th seed at one point. So like we weren't doing that bad. And then I feel like Billy Donovan made a move that might have worked to an extent, but not really for the sake of the team, because Jim Boylan did this the year before too, where he kind of killed Markkanen's confidence, I think, and made him have a role where it's like, all right, you're just going to stand on the perimeter and you're just not going to do anything else. Like you're not going to get your touches. You're not going to get much rhythm. Like you're just going to stand on the perimeter and be like a catch and shoot player. Kind of like what I think you see a lot from Porzingis recently, where he's a lot of the time he's like just trying to stand outside when it's like, dude, you're 7'3", like get your booty in the paint. I'm not going to say.
Go ahead if you want to.
All right, but my point is though, like, I think that he's still a really good player. I just think that he needs to find his right role. And at this point, with the additions that we made with like DeRozan, Lonzo, Caruso, as you said, the GOAT. So I mean, I don't know where Markkanen really fits in on this team. Like, maybe he'll be a bench player, but it's like he was kind of on the bench last season, and he might not have the ball in his hands the most because, remember, we still have Kobe White once he comes back from surgery. So at this point, it's like it sucks, but I just kind of want Markkanen to go to the team that, like, gives him the best opportunity, and hopefully we can get something back in return, maybe like some front court players because we're kind of lacking there. And then hopefully he goes off too, because I think that he still has a lot of talent in him.
Yeah, me too. I definitely think Lauri Markkanen could really still do a huge impact in the league. So here, let me talk to my guys here. Junior Jay Hill, Garrett brings up the problem of Lauri Markkanen. He doesn't really fit with this current roster that the Bulls are. They seem to be going towards. So guys, what do you guys, Junior, if you want to lead off, and then Jay Hill, what do you guys think the Bulls should do with Lauri Markkanen? You think they should be, letting him walk, or is he's asking for too much, or bringing him back?
It's all about, I think, to see if the dollars line up, to see ultimately every player who's in the NBA is a good player. What becomes more important is actual value, like how much value you bring into the team for how much we're paying you. I personally think that though you could say he doesn't fit, on the other side, you can say he also if he's on the roster, he brings more diversity, a different, kind of facet to the game. Because I'm thinking if you had a starting five with Vucevic, Markkanen, DeRozan, Levine, and Ball, like that's a good lineup. But also you could put Patrick Williams in there; he'd be solid as well. But personally, I don't have as much Bulls experience as Garrett, obviously, but I'm thinking I'd want to, as a Bulls fan, I'd want to keep Lauri Markkanen just for what he can do, what he can give. It's not consistently that he's giving that to you every time. It's similar to the Porzingis situation that we talked about. His trade value might not be as high, so you might be getting pennies on the dollar. At that point, it's almost worth to just keep him for the days that he does, have his typical, not his typical, but his expected 20 and 10 game. Then you really cashed out on that, and it worked out. So it's a type of thing that it's a little finicky, can go either way. But personally, I'd keep Lauri Markkanen.
Okay, Jay Hill, how you feeling about Lauri Markkanen?
I think it might be the best situation for the Bulls right now in terms of just the money that he can attract on the free agency market, just simply off the fact that his injury history is just like both Junior have said. I mean, he's been injured for most of his career and recently. So, they can get him at a cheaper value. And just like Junior said, he's more valuable to the Bulls than any other team. So, I say they have to hold on to him for now and just play out that young core that they got. And obviously with their recent additions, it will be just determining whether they want to play young with Patrick Williams or have, Lauri Markkanen at that 4 position. But I think if you can keep him, especially for a cheap price, I think the Bulls definitely have to think about doing it.
Yeah, man.
It's all about the price.
Yeah, man, it's all about the money, man, and I definitely would have to side with you guys on that, man. I think that like how Jenner said, you're not going to get enough you're not going to get a player that can produce what Markkanen can produce when he is hidden. When you look for a trade, and to be real with you, we didn't get to see much of Lauri Markkanen and Vucevic minutes together this last season. So if we were to give them an entire season together, let's think about it, guys. Those are 2 unicorns. Those are 2 unicorns, and if that could be your 4 and 5, and if the Bulls could figure out a way to really figure that out, man, like that'll be a very difficult lineup to play against. But Garrett, I want to ask you this question. Jay Hill talked about maybe looking the other way and looking to go a little younger with Patrick Williams. So, if the Bulls came up to you and said, Garrett, like, we don't know, we're at a fork. We at a fork in the road. We don't know what to do. Do we go with this Vooch and Markkanen, or do we go with Vooch and Patrick Williams? Because Patrick Williams younger and has a lot of upside. A different player than Markkanen, but tremendous upside as well.
I think, and listen, I think Markkanen is still like, he might even be better than Patrick Williams right now. But I think I would definitely go with Patrick Williams and Vucevic for the simple fact that if you don't, and then you have Markkanen and Vucevic in the front court, and then DeRozan and Levine, like those guys, I mean, they're not horrible defensively, but they're not really great either. And then, it puts a lot of pressure on like Lonzo to carry the whole defense in the starting unit. And it's just impossible to ask for a point guard to do that. Usually your rim protector, like you see with Rudy Gobert or like Miles Turner or something like that, those guys are capable of doing it because rim protection, I think, is the most important aspect on defense. So if you have Markkanen and Vucevic down there, like, yeah, we might score like 40 points a game, but we might give up like 60. So it's like, is it really worth it? And I feel like Patrick Williams this year, he played really good off the ball too. Like he wasn't a bad catch and shoot 3-point shooter. So if like Levine was driving downhill, now you'll have DeRozan doing that as well. I think Lonzo Ball will be a perfect fit for him. And even like Caruso could actually bring some spice to that as well. But yeah, I think Markkanen, the one thing, because I didn't really say like there is a way that we could maybe keep him, but I think the best way that we could keep him on the team is if we filled the backup unit with a bunch of 3-and-D players. Like you saw, like the Lakers were signing a bunch of guys for cheap. The only thing is, like, I don't know how many people are going to be available for that right now, because it's like free agency. It's like all the good prizes are kind of almost gone. It's like what's left. Like Markkanen's like probably the best player left on the board. But if we were to get a bunch of 3-and-D players that maybe are just like role players or something like that, then I think Markkanen could fill in as that 6-man scorer to start the year, because Kobe White's going to miss some time. I just don't know about keeping him long-term, though, because, yeah, Kobe White and Markkanen, they're both great scorers off the bench for us then, but then neither of them are great defensively either. And then if you have, a bunch of misfits on the bench as well, I just don't know how that's really going to work. But yeah, that's
a great coach.
Like all I have to add
that's
to
what you
that.
need a great coach for.
Man,
Exactly.
Garrett might have just got himself a spot on the coaching roster over there in Chicago with these solutions, man. But Junior and Jay Hill, how about you guys? If you guys were faced with the choice of going with the unicorn lineup of Vucevic and Markkanen, or going with the younger lineup of Williams and Vucevic, Jay Hill, how about you?
Definitely going with Patrick Williams. Just because of that diversity between Vucevic and Patrick Williams games. I mean, we know both Vucevic and Lauri Markkanen are known for the outside shooting, but whereas Patrick Williams, like you said, he has a mid-range game. He's developing his 3-point shot as well, and he can get to the rim. So just having that kind of that yin and yang, that different attack. And then defensively, we haven't seen, that progress that we wanted to see from Markkanen last year as well. So you don't really want to have two defensive liabilities. I know a lot of teams look to attack Vucevic on the switch as well. So if you could, avoid having both of them on the floor at the same time, you definitely want to do that. So you want to be ultimately interchanging those shifts between them. So yeah, definitely got to go with Patrick Williams. Just to switch things up and have that versatility in the front
Yeah,
court.
I mean, that both Jay Hill and Garrett said it. I mean, I do think Markkanen is a better player on offense, but then he has more of a liability on defense. So, you're going to get more on offense, but give up a lot on defense. But when you look at it like a net, maybe it is best. When you look at the players around him, and that lack of defense from other players, that maybe you do need to have a stronger rim protector. Like Garrett said, rim protection is huge on defense. So it's definitely going to be good to have that rather than Markkanen just kind of getting blown by. So you look at both sides, not just offense, maybe Patrick Williams is a better option.
Yeah, most definitely, and it could be it could be much like that. I mean, before the breaking news just hit earlier that Dennis Schroeder signed with the Celtics, it could be, but it could be much like that situation with the Lakers, where if Dennis Schroeder would have just came off the bench and would have just understood, like, okay, I can have my unit. This can be this second unit. That can be the same thing with Lauri Markkanen. If Lauri Markkanen can allow Patrick Williams to start, and he can come off the bench, and then it could be Lauri Markkanen and Kobe White. That could be that could be their second unit, man. But okay. So Garrett, let me ask you, man. So it's day 9 into free agency, right? Most, like how you said, most big moves really already happened. You guys have one of the top stars really left in free agency. So a lot of people have been saying the Bulls. A lot of people have been saying the Lakers. I'm sure you think. The Heat too. A lot of people are saying the Heat. I'm sure you think Bulls, but for someone who doesn't think Bulls, for someone who doesn't think the Bulls have had the best free agency so far, what would you say to them?
I mean, well, like you said, there's obviously some other candidates like Miami, LA, that have had some pretty big roster changes, but I just feel like the Bulls is like the biggest. It's going to make the biggest difference in the standings, like when it's all said and done. Because
true.
I mean, like you look at the Lakers, like they were the 7th seed last year. Of course, they were hurt, so maybe if they were healthy, they finished top 2, top 3, and then adding Westbrook, and also a lot of the guys for cheap like Melo and bringing Dwight back and stuff. I don't know how motivated in the regular season they're going to be toward going for that number 1 seed. And in the playoffs, that's just it's just so much that it's going to be hard to see, will it work or will it not? So that to me, and also the fact where it's they were already considered one of the championship favorites before trading for Westbrook. And now some people think, maybe it lowers them. Some people think it hires them. A team like Miami, Lowry's great, but also losing a guy like Dragic, obviously that's going to hurt them. Especially since he has chemistry and he's more familiar with the system. It's going to take Lowry some time. But when it comes to the Bulls, we're in a situation where it's we kind of have nothing to lose. And we last season, we were the 11th seed. And now we bring in a guy like DeRozan. He adds veteran leadership. We bring in a guy like Lonzo Ball, and he's pretty much the perfect prototype point guard you could ask for in today's game. Because he plays like a true point guard. He can defend the perimeter. He can shoot the 3. There's not really much else that you would need from him. Obviously, Patrick Williams, I think he's going to take a huge step next year. Not like a, all-star level player or something, but I think I believe he averaged 9.5 points this past year. I think he'll average 13 to 14 this coming season. And obviously, he'll still be one of the best defenders. Maybe he might squeak into an all-defensive team. And then just looking at our bench, obviously adding Caruso, that's an NBA champion right there. I just think that a full season 2 of Vucevic and Levine is going to be nice. I feel like a lot of people are forgetting that. They're looking at, DeRozan's here now and Lonzo Ball's here, but it's last season, I think of when we added Vucevic, kind of like how when the Pelicans added DeMarcus Cousins midseason. And that first year, it didn't really work too well. The next year, obviously, DeMarcus got hurt, but they were top 5, top 6 for most of the season when he was healthy. So I think that we'll see something like that as well. So in the grand scheme of things, we're probably projected, a top 5, top 6 seed by most people. And, I mean, we were not even in the play-in last year. So I feel like we're going to have the biggest jump in terms of all these other teams. And that's why I think that we had the best offseason.
Man, I mean, realistically, I even have it here on my notes. I have it that you guys were the most improved team over the offseason. Like how you said, there are some other notable teams like the Lakers and Heat. But when you look at roster, at the team that was out of the playoffs, and now we mostly believe, they're projected to be high in the playoffs, man. So I definitely got to agree with you on that, Garrett. Let me ask you this, Garrett. So, you bring up, the GOAT and Alex Caruso, you bring up Lonzo Ball, and you bring up DeMar DeRozan, you bring up, some of the free agent signings, which to you, Garrett, has been your personal favorite? You've been yes, I think he's going to do huge on this team.
Well, I will say that the DeRozan one was a pleasant surprise because I was talking a lot like with my dad like throughout free agency, and they kept showing like on Game Time the top free agents available, and it's like everyone kind of thought like Kawhi was going to return, Chris Paul would return, the Lowry rumors had already started in Miami, and I was thinking like I was telling him I'm like the most interesting one is I wonder where DeRozan's going to go because you heard like Miami, you heard LA, and then the Bulls just out of nowhere just come in and take him, and I'm like all right, like I'll take it. But I feel like the Lonzo one is going to have the biggest impact because a lot last season, I didn't like the idea of Kobe White coming off the bench just like Markkanen, but in a way, it kind of made sense considering like, he's not a true point guard. He's more like a shooting guard, and I could see him being the perfect sixth man for us, like behind Zach LaVine when he comes back from surgery. So it kind of like took a toll, I think, on how he played last season because he actually played better when he started. However, like it was more just like playing as a combo guard. Like I will say like more towards like Steph Curry type tendencies. Not saying like Kobe White was out there like Steph Curry or anything like that, but like in the sense where it's like he's more like a scoring guard than a facilitating guard. And I think that's kind of what we need, especially now. It's like you add DeRozan, you have Vucevic, you have LaVine. That's like 3 20-point per game scorers from last year. So it's like we don't need too much more scoring in the lineup. And Lonzo will still give you like 10, 12 a game, maybe more. But he'll also be like one of the best facilitators in the league as well. And his perimeter defense is necessary because Kobe White like wasn't terrible, but like he wasn't like locking anyone down. He wasn't doing like a stellar job by any means. Thomas Satoransky, I don't even want to get on Satoransky. I just don't like Satoransky. I'm glad he's gone.
You weren't feeling Thomas Satoransky?
I was not. Him or Denzel Valentine, and I hope we don't bring him back either.
Man. So Garrett, go ahead, Jeho.
Okay. Yeah. So Garrett, so you talked a lot about the Bulls, offense, and they obviously added a lot of offensive weapons. Well, I should say they have a lot of offensive weapons at their disposal now, adding DeMar DeRozan, obviously, and Lonzo Ball, who hasn't been known as a scorer in the past, but I think he's really coming into his own, as we saw last year with all his percentages rising over there in New Orleans. But my question to you is, out of their whole starting five or the projected starting five, with obviously their backcourt being, DeRozan, LaVine, and Lonzo Ball, and then the front court projected to be Patrick Williams and Vucevic. Out of those five, I only really see two quote unquote like lockdown potential defenders with Lonzo and Patrick Williams, and with DeRozan being kind of inconsistent. And then you look at a guy like Zach LaVine, who has all the tools, in my opinion, to be, one of the top defenders in the league, but we haven't seen his IQ and his athleticism really match up on the defensive end. So is that a concern to you, just defensively from that top five? And also to talk about Vucevic as well, I mentioned earlier, a lot of teams look to attack him on the defensive end, on switches and everything like that. So is that their defense going to be a concern to you next year, and how do you think they should address that moving forward with only maybe two defenders at their disposal?
Well, I think it's definitely something to be concerned about right now. Believe it or not, I think we were a better defensive team last year than an offensive team, which doesn't really thinking on paper, it doesn't really make sense. But that was the case. Of course, we lost some other great defenders. Like I think Thaddeus Young is going to hurt us a lot, like him being gone. But I think LaVine and DeRozan, like I said, they're not locking down anyone. They're not great defenders, but I think they're a little bit underrated defenders. Obviously, they have size, and I think that they have better lateral quickness than some people give them credit for. But the big thing here is, like, how good is Vucevic going to be on the defensive end? And that's why I was hoping, like, maybe we'd sign a guy like Nerlens Noel to be on the bench. We signed Tony Bradley, who I think he's not bad defensively, but, like, how much time is he going to get? Like, he probably won't get, like, maybe 10 minutes a game max. So I don't know. I think we need a lot from Vucevic this year. It needs to be like a transformation season on the defensive end from him. If not, then you're probably going to see like a lot of like, Yusuf Nurkic visions and like Portland defense and all those collapses there. So I don't know. That's my biggest concern there. And that's why I was saying if we were to do a sign and trade for Markkanen, we need to get like some front court players, preferably, like you said, good rim protection. So like that's probably the only thing. Well, not the only thing. We could still, I'll take anything, but probably like the biggest thing that we need to target going forward in the next season.
Okay.
Yeah, Garrett, I definitely agree with a lot of those points. And especially I agree with, Vucevic has to step up defensively, especially at that 5, and stop being such a liability. But another thing that I like with their additions is adding DeMar DeRozan. I think that's going to and Lonzo Ball offensively is going to take a lot of pressure off Zach LaVine on the offensive end. So a lot of the energy that he might have been conserving last year, defensively, he might be able to output more. So I think those additions are going to be great in terms of that effort on the defensive end. So maybe Junior, if you want to add some more to these thoughts about the defensively and how they'll fare up.
I think when you look at the Bulls defensively, there's a couple of things. Like we mentioned earlier, Markkanen's going to be a little bit of a liability. DeRozan, obviously, he's past his prime. I don't think he's going to be too much help on defense. LaVine's got the physical gifts to be a good defender. Now he's not a bad defender, but I do think there's a little bit more for him to go there. Lonzo's a great defender. I genuinely think that Lonzo's a pretty good defender. He's going to help the Bulls defensively a lot. Patrick Williams, fantastic rim protector. It's going to help him a lot. And then obviously Vucevic is a little bit of a liability, but he's giving you so much on offense that you can kind of look the other way. I think it's a little flat-footed sometimes, but still solid enough to be, I guess not horrible. I mean, you just have to look at what's the player's total output, right? So you see somebody who's like Ben Simmons still has a job because he's a fantastic defender. Even though he can't shoot. Oh, he's a good playmaker as well. I can't take that away from him. But aside from that, unless he's attacking rim, there's not really much else going on. But he's a fantastic defender. So you do have to look at kind of the whole picture, and I think the Bulls have a good overall team. And I got to tell you, somebody else who's actually a good defender. I'm not gonna say he's defensive player of the year or anything like that, but Caruso knows how to lock guards up when it's time. Like, he's solid at that. Jay Hill knows from personal experience, and that but Caruso's a solid defender. He's a solid defender. I think he's gonna help the Bulls out a lot. Especially when it's crunch time and he's out there defending, Caruso gets it done. Jay Hill knows. Jay Hill saw Steph Curry try to save the game, but he couldn't because Caruso.
It's 36.
I know. Hey, but Curry's a great player, man. He's gonna get his bag. But when it was time to go, I know you saw Caruso put some clamps on. I know you saw it. You can admit it. Jay Hill has left the chat. Nah, I'm kidding.
Garrett, man. So let me ask you a question, Garrett. With like how you said, you were talking about, you heard DeMar DeRozan for a couple other teams, and then boom, all of a sudden DeMar DeRozan Bulls. Like, I don't think anyone really saw that coming. I was surprised too. So
I did think that was so funny though, because he had a meeting set up with the Clippers that day. And he didn't want to hear him out. He said, "I'm going to Chicago. Screw that."
Yeah, exactly, man. So really, I don't even think he saw it coming, man. But Garrett, what I wanted to ask you is this, Garrett. I've heard a lot of conspiracy theories. I've heard a lot of things on Bulls Twitter saying that DeMar DeRozan is an insurance policy for Zach LaVine because this is Zach LaVine's last year under contract. Let me ask you this, Garrett. Do you think Zach LaVine's re-upping that contract and coming back? Or do you think that they picked up DeMar in case Zach, is gone? Because if Zach is gone, then the Bulls are gone.
Well, obviously, I think it's going to depend how this whole project turns out. Like, it could be, if it turns out like a dumpster fire and we get bounced in the play-in or don't even make the play-in or something, then maybe LaVine's like, you know what, this just isn't working and I'm going to leave. remember a few years ago, and I'm pretty sure he just did this to make sure he was going to get his money, but he signed an offer sheet with Sacramento in 2018, and then the Bulls matched it. Obviously, that was like his half season after his torn ACL. But yeah, I think that. Well, I think it'll work out to an extent. I'm not saying we're going to win the championship or anything like that, but I think that maybe we can make the playoffs. We get eliminated first, second round. I mean, that's tough. Maybe Levine still does leave. I don't know really what he's thinking, but I feel like that would be a step in the right direction. They'd want to stay. And as for adding DeMar DeRozan, I think that he'll complement Levine and Lonzo nicely. I remember checking a stat in like early March in the season this past year, and I was looking at the top 50 leading scorers and points per game this past year, and at that time, not one of them had a higher than a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, except DeMar DeRozan, and he had like a 4 at that time. So like he can play make. His playmaking has been a lot better than like I think with the Spurs, and it was in Toronto, and so is his overall efficiency. So maybe he's not pulling like 3-pointers like he's Curry or Dame or something like that, but I think that he'll be pretty effective. And the other thing is, like, I think that there's just enough elements to the Bulls where it's like, Levine, he's a 3-level scorer. DeRozan, he can still throw it down whenever. He's great in the mid-range. Vucevic can do pick and pop, back to basket. It's just going to be like a fun team to watch because there's like so many different elements that you could like have on this team, and that's what I'm most excited for.
Okay.
So let me ask you something, Gary. With the East, the way it's currently set up, obviously you have your juggernauts and the Nets, and I don't know if you can count the Bucks as a juggernaut, but they're a good team. Sixers, obviously. Where do you see the Bulls finishing as far as standings, just regular season standings, and then how far do you see them making into the playoffs?
I mean, if I were to be realistic, I think that I'd probably put them at the 5th seed.
Okay.
I mean,
who would be 4th? Like, I don't have to go in order, but I'm assuming Nets, Bucks, and Sixers are 3 of those 4. Who's the other one?
I think, the Nets and Bucks. I personally think Miami is tougher than the Sixers because I don't, especially with the Sixers, like when they signed Drummond, that was like I saw something where it's like now both Simmons, I don't know, I have my camera, but both Simmons and Drummond have like tied for like the 8th worst free throw percentage in like among like in the second half or something like that. And I'm like, and they said something like now they're just gonna pick who they can like foul or like who they can hack or something. So it's like I don't know how that's gonna work. And they didn't really make too many additions, I don't think. I thought they had a decent draft, but I don't know if that's gonna work. They'll probably still be better than the Bulls, but yeah, like I thought they were gonna probably trade him, but I don't know what they're gonna do. But I think 5th is good. I think that I honestly think we're better than the Celtics right now, even after the Schroeder addition. The Knicks, I mean, they made some good additions too with Kemba and Evan Fournier, but I still like our chances over them. The Hawks, I mean, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but I think part of that was also a little bit with luck. And they didn't really make too many additions themselves. They got DeLon Wright, but I don't think he's going to like transform them in any crazy way. And then I wouldn't sleep on the Pacers either because they're going to be
the Pacers 100%. Always have a good roster. They just don't do anything, unfortunately.
I feel like the Pacers, low key, and this might be a hot take, but they might have the best like 1 to 5 starting lineup in the NBA.
Really?
Because you think like Brogdon's an all-star caliber player, Karis LeVert, all-star caliber, TJ Warren can give you 18, 20 a game. Sabonis was an all-star last year, and then Miles Turner is like the perfect center for today's NBA. So, and their bench isn't bad either, and they just added Rick Carlisle, who's the championship level coach. So I don't know. They kind of scare me as like an underdog team as well.
Yeah, no, the East is starting to shape up a little bit more than it used to be in the last couple of years. Last couple of years used to be kind of a joke, but now they have at least a solid 6 teams, maybe even 7 that could. I don't know. I will not say fight. All 6 of them can fight for a title, but they could give anybody a run in the East. So I definitely think that It's looking a lot better, a lot more competitive in the East. And for the playoffs, how do you feel like where the Bulls could end up? Like, let's say maybe they get in the same run as like the Hawks did this year. You know, they faced the Knicks, then they faced the Sixers, who, you know, Embiid was actually obviously playing injured. Then they faced the Bucks. I mean, it took them to 6. But like, how do you feel? How do you feel about the Bulls if they were to get in a similar situation? How do you think they'll fare in the playoffs this year?
Well, being that I think they'll likely end up in the 5th seed, and I think they'll either play Miami or Philly. I mean, I like our chances against either one of those teams. I think Miami might be a little tougher, but I wouldn't be surprised if we were to beat either one of them. Now, we probably aren't the favorites, but I think it's possible. So likely maybe a first round exit in a tough series, but I think we very well could get to the second round, and then that's probably where it end, because like the Nets or Bucks, they'd probably beat us in like 5 games or something, or maybe like 6, but like all their wins would be blowouts. Now, like, and I'm not like hoping for an injury or something, but maybe if it's like someone does get hurt on the other team, like if it's a star player, then maybe we have a chance, because then it'd probably be like more even.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't see us really matching up too great with the Nets or Bucks. I don't think we'll get swept, but I don't think we'll beat either of them unless we get a lot of luck.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, and I think that's just going to be a matter of seeing how the team meshes together throughout the year too, because on paper it's a great team, but we have to see how they're going to line up together, because, you know, this team obviously hasn't played with each other. You have, you know, 2 new additions, and obviously you could even make an argument that Vucevic is relatively new to the Bulls too. I mean, he did come in the middle of last season. So I do think that we're going to have to see kind of how they mesh together in order to see how far maybe they can go, you know, because like I said with the Hawks, and I didn't even mean to downplay their win against the Sixers. I was just saying, you know, they came together and they played well together as a unit, and I think that's what was able to propel them to get as far as they did.
Well, I feel like and I'm not trying to take away from the Hawks either, but I feel like most people know that Philly is like the better team. It's just that the Hawks kind of wanted it more.
Yeah.
And like some of the Sixers, you know, whether it was part coaching, like with Doc Rivers, part with the players, with Ben, and like Tobias Harris wasn't great. Like Matisse Thybulle wasn't that great either. So it's like, in that sense, it kind of makes sense why the Hawks moved on. It was still pretty good, but I just think like when I'm looking at them compared to the Bulls now, like, I don't know. Like you said, on paper, like the Bulls look nice, but we have to see how it all works out.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Because
I've
go
seen
ahead, sorry.
Bulls seasons where we've had a good team on paper and it just hasn't worked out. So.
Didn't work out. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it happens. It happens. Because I was gonna say, I said the same thing with the Pacers last year. We're doing our provision or our previews for the upcoming season before last season started. And I was saying, oh yeah, you know, the Pacers have a great team on paper. We just gotta see how they develop. Obviously, their issue was injuries more than fit, but even the fit was questionable at times. So I do think that it's just a matter of seeing how things play out, you know, by the All-Star break. And then after the All-Star break, if they can really make that push. And that's when seeding is going to start mattering a lot, because you could play if you get the 5th seed, you could end up playing, or the 5th or 4th seed, you play, you know, one or the other. But if you can push up to the 3rd seed, now you're playing a 6th-seeded team. And then, you know, I think the Bulls probably would be favored. So it's just that making that final push.
I think like the Pacers too, like at the start of the season, they kind of had that big Oladipo thing, and like he kind of wanted out or whatever, and all those rumors of him maybe wanting to go to Miami, and then also their coach wasn't the greatest either. Like, and I think there were so many rumors about them hating their coach that I haven't seen in probably like 5 or 6 years. So yeah.
Yeah, man. But one thing that is true, man. One thing that we know that is that this Bulls, they got a whole new trajectory now. You know, with all these free agent signings that they got. But Gary, you know, as we're starting to wrap up here, you know, one question that we like to ask our guests, you know, that come on for these offseason interviews, we like to ask Gary, if you could give us, you know, one word or one phrase, you know, that describes how you feel, how you felt the way this past season went, and then also another word or another phrase to describe how you feel about this upcoming season that's going to come up, the 2021-2022 season.
I'd probably say embarrassed and rejuvenated.
Embarrassed and rejuvenated. I like that.
I mean, like last year's was so disappointing. I guess you could say disappointment too, but it's looking better right now so far. But like we said, there's been some good Bulls rosters that haven't put it together, so we'll have to see.
Okay, all right. Well, I like your 2 words, man. But okay. All right, guys. So now we have gotten here. We have reached to the end of the episode. Garrett, I want to welcome you to our closing segment. We have a closing segment here at Clutch Talk called Guess the Player. This is the way Guess the Player works, Garrett. I have 5 players here listed, and I have a couple of their accolades. I have teams they were drafted to, things that they were famously known for, and you, Jay Hill and Junior, you guys have guesses to guess which player I'm talking about. You have 2 guesses. Okay, feel free to blurt them out. You can say them right away, but then you don't have any more guesses, or you can wait until I'm done giving off all my hints. You got the rules?
Okay, so I think so. So like you're gonna keep giving clues, but like if I guess wrong, I'm done. Like
let me
2 guesses.
Let me give you an example. Like if we did this, right? Let's say just because we're in this Bulls episode, let's say we were doing, let's say the player was Jordan. I'd be like, he's went to the finals 6 times and won all 6. I would just list a bunch of his accomplishments, and let's say I list the first one and you're like, I know that's Michael Jordan. You say Michael Jordan right away. If you get it right, you get it right. If you don't, you only have one more guess.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Well, Garrett.
And I got some more today too, John, so you could participate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet,
So
sweet.
last time, so John is the one who always hosts it, but last time I had some so he could participate in it, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm gonna give you guys some at the end too, so I have John participate.
Sweet.
Sounds good.
All right, Garrett. So welcome into our closing segment called Guess the Player. Here is our first player, guys. He is a 2-time NBA MVP. He is a 1-time steals leader.
I'm going to go with okay. Yeah.
What was that?
Steph Curry.
Devin Curry.
Yes, that is.
Come on, Jay.
Jay Hill's on that.
I was going to guess Curry right away, but then I'm like, it could be like Nash or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. All right. I like that. Hey, but you were quick, Garrett. I like that. All
right. Let's go.
All right. Next player. He is a 2-time All-Star. He is a 4-time champion. He's a gold medal winner.
Oh, Manu Ginobili.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Let's go.
That was impressive.
Man.
That was very, very impressive.
Hey,
Garrett.
I know Ginobili. He's my 3rd favorite player of all time. So I had that.
That was very impressive. As I was writing this one out, I was like, they might not get this one. So I have to, at the end, I wrote, he made the Euro step famous in the NBA. But
good thing I guessed it
there.
then, because that might have gave it away.
Okay. All right. Next player here. He is a 11-time All-Star. He's only a 1-time All-Star Game MVP. He is a 4-time NBA First Team. He is a 7-time All NBA Defense First Team. He has 0 rings.
Russell Westbrook?
Nope.
I was gonna say I was gonna guess until you said defense, and I was like, I'm not sure, but you said 0 rings, so I say let's give it a shot.
He is a 2-time gold medalist.
I'm gonna. This might be wrong, but I'm gonna guess John Stockton.
No, not John Stockton.
Carmelo Anthony?
No, not Carmelo Anthony.
All right, I'm out already.
All right, here you guys go.
There's more clues.
I got another one, and then I'm gonna go back in the beginning of the clues. Okay.
Okay.
He won Rookie of the Year. His year. I'm gonna go back to the beginning again. He is a 11-time All-Star. He is a 1-time All-Star Game MVP.
Oh, wait, Chris Paul.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Damn, Garrett got
Yeah.
NBA knowledge.
I was thinking. Yeah.
I was done.
What was your last clue that you just gave? I think that might have gave it away.
Rookie of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking like point guards the whole time, and I'm like, dude, Chris Paul won it, so I had to guess him.
Hey, I said 0 rings, guys. Thought you guys would get that one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players.
All right.
I was gonna say.
throwing me off.
All right. Here we go. Next player, guys. He is a 5-time champion. He is a 3-time Finals MVP.
Kobe.
Ooh, Tim Duncan.
No.
Oh, we already did. Okay.
He is a 3-time NBA MVP.
LeBron. No.
Oh, Magic Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh.
Garrett is wiping the floor clean right
Yes.
now. Wow, this
Where's
is
he
impressive, Garrett. All right. Here we go, guys. Here we go. Last player I have here. He is a 1-time champion. He is a 5-time All-Star. He's a 3-time All-NBA first team. He's a 1-time All-Star Game MVP. He's a 1-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Ooh.
He's a 1-time Most Improved Player of the Year. He is a 2-time NBA MVP.
Giannis.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I
Yes,
just
sir.
blanked on that one.
Come on.
I keep thinking of like players from the 90s or 80s or something.
Yeah.
Free.
Okay. All right.
You got
Let's
your
get into
5?
yours, Junior.
All right. Let's do this. We'll pull them up here. Okay. I'm gonna start with an easy one here. 2-time NBA champion. 2-time Finals MVP.
Kevin Durant.
No. 1-time MVP. 12-time All-Star. 2-time rebounding
Wait.
leader.
Oh,
No.
Oh, let me guess. Did he play 12 years? I'm gonna guess Willis Reed.
No. Good guess though.
Okay.
3 times block leader.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
That's
No,
it.
not you.
It is. It was. You want to pull it back, J-Hill?
Nah.
No. That's it. Hakeem the Dream. Hakeem the Dream. All right. I got you. Now it's gonna get a little tough now.
That's
All right.
3-3, Garrett. That's 3-3 if you keep this score.
It's gonna get a
Game
little tough
7 then.
now. All right. Let's see. We're gonna separate the men from the boys on this one. Okay. Not like you guys are not gonna know him. He's definitely famous, but think. All right. 2-time NBA champion. Okay. He was all rookie first team. Didn't win rookie of the year, but he was all rookie first team. He won 6th man of the year. Okay. He was on the Nightmare team. Okay. Let me see. I thought you guys would have gotten it by now. Just kidding. No.
Oh, wait. No, I don't know if he was on that team. All right, keep going.
Keep going.
Okay. So I'm gonna save this one for the end because this one's a little bit too not too obvious. I'll give it away right now. He actually played for both Los Angeles teams.
Chauncey Billups.
Oh, never mind.
No.
Oh!
Lamar Odom.
That's Lamar Odom.
Oh,
Man. J Hill's working today.
That's big, Jay. That's big.
That
Dude,
was a good one.
when you said 6-man of the year and you said 2-time champ, I was thinking of Leandro Barbosa for some reason. But I'm like, I don't think he won like the second one with the Warriors or anything. I think he won one with them.
All right. Let's get into this one now. All right. So he's a 1-time steals leader, 7-time All-Star, 1-time All-Star Game MVP, 6-time NBA champion.
Scottie Pippen.
That's it.
Yeah.
I had to throw a Bulls one in there.
I thought it was when you said 7-time All-Star. I had to wait.
Yeah, no, he was ready. I had to throw a Bulls one in there. All right, let's get into it. I got 2 more here. Okay,
right,
so we got 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA first team. Okay, he has 0 rings. He made his NBA All-Rookie first team, did not win Rookie of the Year. He's known for a move. Okay? Starting to run out of tips here.
Can we know if the move is on offense or defense?
Yes, it's on offense.
Luka.
No.
Can you run it
All
back?
right.
Harden.
I'll run it back, and then I'm going to give you another another clue. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to go from the top. 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA first team, made the All-Rookie first team, 0 rings, known for a move that is on offense.
I'm going to guess.
That is
I don't
what?
know if he made All-NBA first team twice, though. Tim Hardaway?
No.
Tim Hardaway
Not-
Sr.
No.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh wait.
This move.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Junior. Sorry, I don't.
No,
sorry, you're
no.
right.
No.
That was stupid of me.
No, not Tim Hardaway. But he does have a
Penny
move.
Hardaway.
Penny Hardaway. That's it.
Oh!
Dude, guys, I was out there like, not Tim Hardaway.
I was thinking of the killer crossover, though, because he invented
that's
that.
it. That's it. My next tip was gonna be like someone else is also famous for this move, but he is famous for the move. Man.
Yeah, Penny did like the
man.
spin thing. I
Penny did
forgot
that
about that because
spin.
no one's really done it since.
Honestly,
Yeah.
guys, what was I thinking? I said I said Tim Hardaway Sr. Like Garrett already said Tim Hardaway. What did I think? He was talking about the junior. Tim Hardaway Jr. hasn't done anything.
All right. I got
He
another one
invented
for you guys.
breaking threes in the playoffs when it matters most.
He said Tim Hardaway Sr.
All right, we're gonna rock with this one now. All right, I think we're gonna get this one. So he is a 12-time All-Star, 1-time All-Star Game MVP, 3-time League MVP, 2-time 50-40-90 club member.
LeBron.
No,
Oh, wait, 1-time MVP, you said?
he is a
three-
3-time MVP.
Oh,
He's also
Larry
go
Bird.
ahead. Larry Bird is the answer.
Yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
Dang,
There.
He's
Wipe
cold.
the floor on this one, man. Wow.
Garrett.
That's it. That's my 5. Man, it was well done. It was done.
That was well done, man. Wow.
Clinic.
Wow.
I didn't even have to get into 3-time champion. I didn't have to get into 3-time Finals MVP.
Because, I
Man.
mean, that's an exclusive club, though. Like, that's all
Yeah,
Hall
it
of
is.
Famers.
It is. I probably should have
And-
left it to the end.
And then
Probably
Malcolm
should have
Brogdon.
left
And Malcolm Brogdon.
Not bad, but he's not a Hall of Famer.
Hey, I need to look up how Seth Curry ended the season because I remember in the middle of the season he was like in the 50, 90, 100 club or something like.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, he was 100% on free throws through like halfway through the season. I need to see
Tony
how he ended.
Snell unofficially was in the 50, 100 club.
Really?
But he didn't attempt enough free throws or something.
That's true. I remember he went out there though. He played for 28 minutes and then recorded a single statistical category.
He's
Yeah.
come a long
So that
way.
Tony Sneller.
Former Chicago Bull.
From Chicago Bulls.
Born and bred. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man, definitely, man. That was tons of fun, man. But
Yes,
guys,
sir.
you know, this starts to wrap up our Bulls episode. Garrett, man, we want to thank you again very, very much, for making time to come on here with us, talk some basketball with us, and just blessing us with your time, man. We just saw you have crazy NBA knowledge, not only just on the Bulls, but on just so many other teams, other players. You just wiped out the floor with this guest of player, man. So just we were just very appreciative of your time, Garrett. So thank you very much, man. You have any last words you want to say to the fans?
I mean, it was fun being on here. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked obviously the game at the end, and hopefully, like for my sake, the Bulls can get back in the playoffs, because I saw something that was like the Bulls now have the third longest playoff drought in the NBA, and it doesn't seem like it, but like we got to get back in the NBA playoffs. You know,
You got to get back.
This
you
might
gotta
be the
get
year,
back in
man.
here.
This might be the year.
Hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers.
Man, definitely. I think this will be the year, man. But if all the fans, whether you guys are listening on Apple Podcasts, or you guys listen on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you guys are listening, if you guys want to go ahead and give Garrett a follow, man, I'm gonna go ahead and put Garrett's Instagram right there, right in his little, Garrett's Twitter right there, right in his little bubble. It is SMH24. So make sure you guys go give him a follow. And Garrett also has a YouTube channel, man. Garrett is also a fellow basketball lover like us, man. So he has another basketball YouTube channel, and that's called Super Mario Hoops 24. So make sure that you guys go check that out, man, because Garrett's got it popping over there, man. And Garrett, we just appreciate you coming on and just giving us your time, man. We want to thank you very much one last time.
Yeah, like you said, and like all you guys said, it was fun. And hopefully we can do something again sometime soon.
We definitely will. Hey, Junior and J Hill, you guys got any last words you guys want to say for the Bulls fans and to Garrett here?
No, I just appreciate it. I mean, appreciate you coming on, talking to us about the Bulls. It's a lot of fun, exciting team, and historic franchise, obviously. So, getting them back to the playoffs is definitely going to be special. So just looking forward to a season, man. It's going to be exciting. Like I said, the East is starting to heat up now. It's not a cakewalk anymore. So it's going to be fun to see.
Yeah,
definitely, man.
Yeah, all of what Junior said. Great guest, great episode, and thanks for coming on, Garrett. And I'm excited to see what the Bulls can do next. Obviously, the home of the former GOAT. So let's see what.
Ooh, former GOAT. Is there a new GOAT, J Hill?
I think it's still the same GOAT.
Yeah, the GOAT, the same GOAT.
Same GOAT.
Yeah, same GOAT, MJ. So let's see if they can get back to their glory days. Yeah,
that'll have to be a combo for another day.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Well, maybe we'll have to bring Garrett back on for the pod to get a NBA GOAT episode coming up again, man. Maybe we'll do that with you, Garrett, man. But thank you very much for your time, and to all the Bulls fans. Hope that Levine re-ups after this year, and you guys got dynasty over there in the Bulls, man, because you guys could get that together. That's a real scary team, man. So that's it. We out of here, y'all. Clutch Talk out.
Peace.